Hello and welcome to This Week with Ajaz Haque. It's Saturday, 13th of June 2020. In this vlog, we will discuss four items, mainly Pakistan's budget, which was presented to the National Assembly and the nation yesterday, June the 12th. The current corona situation in Pakistan, which seems to be spreading fast, and the situation in the US following George Floyd's death and the demonstrations that are taking place, a review of the financial markets, and finally a hilarious TV anchor from India putting out fake news, and we'll have a look at that as well. To start with, the Pakistan budget for 2020-21. Pakistan's financial year is July 1 to June 20, so the budget will be effective from July 1. The total budget is rupees 7.14 trillion, which is $44.7 billion. Now, a major chunk of it, 41%, goes to debt servicing, 2.9 trillion or 18.4 billion. Now, this is thanks to the last two governments from 2008 to 2018, which increased our national debt 5 times, from 5 trillion to 30 trillion, and the debt keeps increasing because of the knock-on effect and the interest payments and so on, for which more money is borrowed. So 41% of our budget is being wasted on debt servicing, and as a result, there's very little money left for development or for improvement or healthcare or education. The expenditure on defense is 1.3 trillion, which is $8 billion or 18% of the budget. The development expenditure is 650 billion or $4 billion or 9% of the budget. Grants, etc., 905 billion, which is 13% of the budget. Government expenditure, i.e. day-to-day running of the government, is 476 billion or $3 billion, 6.7% of the budget. Pensions, which is another large item, 470 billion or $2.9 billion or 6.6% of the budget, and then there are other expenses on which the rest of the money is spent. Now, where is the money coming from? From taxes. The net amount that the federal government will have is 3.7 trillion. That is after paying the provinces 2.9 trillion. So the provinces are getting almost as much as the federal government, and the federal government has to then bear the burden of debt servicing and defense and development expenses. The capital receipts are about 1.4 trillion or 8.7 billion, which is 19%. External loans, which the government hopes to get, 850 billion rupees or about $5 billion at 11%, and bank borrowing 889 billion or $5.6 billion or 12.4% of the budget. Now, the provincial allocation, Punjab will receive 1.44 trillion, Sindh 742 billion, KPK 477 billion, and Balochistan will get 265 billion. So total allocation to provinces is 2.93 trillion. Now, while we are at the budget, an important thing that our tax collection is extremely low. Only 1% of the population is taxpayer in Pakistan, and this is utterly ridiculous. This needs to change, and change very rapidly. The Imran Khan government had brought in an independent chairman of FBR, Mr. Shabarzadi, and he did a great job by increasing the taxpayers in 1 year from 1.3 to 2.4 million. Now, the various mafias obviously hindered his way, and he departed unhappily, which was very unfortunate because the outsiders find it difficult to keep control of the situation if the government does not support. So the government had brought him, they should have given him a free hand and complete support so that he could have implemented his agenda. And some of the things he accomplished is point-of-sales terminals at a lot of stores so the government can keep track of the sales tax which the shops were collecting and not handing over to the government before. Now, if in 1 year the number of taxpayers can be raised from 1.3 to 2.4 million, imagine what could be accomplished in 5 years. We need at least 10 million taxpayers within 5 years. And for that, stringent action needs to be taken. The unfortunate thing is, it's the status quo that is being maintained, and that is not going to improve situation. The public is being denied the healthcare, education, better quality of life, better standards. If that tax is collected, which is fair because the businesses are making money, and lots of businesses are not paying any taxes at all. So it's only fair that everybody contributes a fair share to the country's budget. And if the number of taxpayers increases, say, to 10 million within 5 years, then the revenue from taxes will quadruple or will go up 5 or 6 times. And that will leave a lot of money in the hands of the government in order for development, for building new dams, for building roads and bridges, and improving the conditions of the hospitals, and especially the education, the schools and colleges. Private education has become expensive in Pakistan. Government education used to be free, and we need to improve on that. So that's the budget for 2021. Now the corona situation, which is rather alarming. So far there are 132,000 cases in Pakistan. 50,000 of those have recovered, and the number of deaths are 2,500. Now what's alarming is that since May 31, the number of reported cases has increased by 91%, i.e. in 13 days only. However, in the same period, 98% increase in the recovered cases. Now, what's worrying is that the rate at which the corona is increasing, for instance, in the last 1 week alone, from June 6 to 13, the increase in reported cases is 41%. If this trend continues, by the end of June, we could have 250,000 to 300,000 reported cases. But there is a silver lining here. In the last 24 hours, there's been the highest number of recoveries. And the number of recoveries are higher than new reported cases. 9,800 recoveries in the last 24 hours, and 6,472 new reported cases. Let's hope that trend continues, and that's the only way how we'll be able to defeat corona. And so everybody needs to watch out, be careful. Maybe more lockdowns are needed, partial lockdowns or lockdowns from time to time. But the general public wandering around on the streets is not wearing masks, and that is dangerous. Everybody should be wearing masks. Now to United States, the George Floyd killing, the demonstrations continue. The policeman who was arrested for his death has been given a $1 million bail, and he has made bail and he's out. Now the question is, how does a policeman raise $1 million to get the bail? It means some white supporters have helped him get the bail. Now the American President Donald Trump has buried his head in sand and refuses to believe anything. Many Republicans are speaking out against racism. Statues are falling everywhere, including statues in Europe. And these statues were the slave traders, the hallmark of cruelty and slavery. The Confederation flag, surprisingly, a side that lost in the Civil War, the Confederate States, this Confederation flag was being flown in many states in the South. That's now being taken down. It's really shameful that the symbols of racism have lasted this long. Now, summary of the financial markets. Not a good week for the market generally. S&P 500 down 6.36% on the week. Nasdaq down 3.4%. FTSE down 6.7%. Shanghai barely down 0.3%. Mumbai down 1.5%. The TSX, Toronto Stock Exchange, down 3.5%, and the Pakistan Stock Exchange up 1%. Now finally, a hilarious event. An Indian TV anchor put out a report that Pakistan had drowned in darkness. Imran Khan and General Bajwa spent sleepless night because the Indian planes were roaming all over Pakistan, and Karachi was the target of attack, although he doesn't report any attack. I mean, it's absolutely funny, because nothing of the sort happened. Totally fake report. And the funny thing is, he even mentioned the two types of aircraft that Pakistan shot down in February 2019. I guess when you're telling lies, there's no shame. So I'm leaving a report for you to watch and have a good chuckle. Thank you, and bye, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.